What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. So you guys have been asking me about the books that I've read, and so this is going to be more of a casual video. So I know this is not my typical filming setup, but I just felt really inspired to record this video randomly, like right now. So you guys loved or have been giving me so much positive feedback on my little snippet of me sharing my journey of when I quit my job and started YouTube and started making my hobby my paycheck. Now, before I jump into the books that I read that allowed me to make, actually the first book that I read actually allowed me to make $10,000 within 1 month. Before I want to get into that, I want to say that this is no like get rich quick type of process. This did not happen overnight. 6 months, 7 months, 8 months before that, I was actually like depending on my mom. I always told people, oh, I'm doing so great. This law of attraction and me quitting my job has been great. I'm doing good. I'm making money. But really, I was eating like cans of corn, cans of bean, oatmeal, basically like literally checking my bank app to see if I even had money to put gas in my tank. The transition was not overnight. So just to give you guys a little bit of background, when I quit my job, I still was super positive and just super like, okay, this is gonna work. Turns out it didn't work. It didn't work at all. And I turned to YouTube to just watch like motivational interviews by people that I found that were financially successful. So they kept talking about reading books, and they kept talking about the law of attraction. And at this point, I'm like, okay, everyone's talking about these books. One book in particular was Think and Grow Rich. People were talking about the law of attraction. People were talking about like morning routines and life coaches. And at this point, I'm broke. So even though in the back of my head, I'm like, okay, this is kind of corny. Reading a book ain't gonna do nothing. Having a consistent morning routine isn't gonna change anything. But let me just see. So I just keep reading and watching these interviews and basically taking advice from people who have what I have, what I want or what I desire. One thing that I learned really quick, and this is no shade to anyone, don't take advice from people who don't have what you desire. Because, and this is, look, I feel, okay, so if you ask your cousin or your auntie or your dad or your mom about advice for a crazy big dream that you want, 9 times out of 10, out of protection, they're gonna be like, oh no, I think you should do this, or oh, that's a little crazy. You can't listen to people like that because they're only giving you, or most of people's intentions are to protect you. But when you have a big dream and you're excited about something, you can't be around people who diminish that dream. So my only way of turning to people who weren't trying to protect me by like making my dream a little bit smaller was turning to motivational interviews. And I remember, I'm a big Kendrick fan, and I was listening to his song Cut You Off, and he talks about like trying to know Napoleon Hill and trying to know God, something like that. And I was like, okay, let me just try reading this book and see what it does for me. And if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. Let me just read this book for 21 days, make up a morning routine, do everything that it says to do, and just basically ignore everything else for 21 days. Like, if that doesn't work, then it doesn't work. I'm still broke, so it doesn't really matter. Let me just try it and see what it is. So the book that I read was Think and Grow Rich. I read this book for 21 days, and it changed everything for me. It has 6 definite practical steps. Step 1, fix in your mind the exact amount of money you desire. It is not sufficient merely to say, I want plenty of money. So I simply wrote down exactly how much money I wanted. The second step, determine exactly what you intend to give in return for the money you desire. There is no reality of something for nothing. So I wrote down what I was gonna give in exchange for that money. At the time, I had a very, 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 very small YouTube channel. I had a very, very, very small Instagram platform. And I had a clothing line that was not working at all. The third step, establish a definite date when you intend to possess the money you desire. So set an end goal for yourself. The fifth step, write out a clear, concise statement of the amount of money you intend to acquire. Name the time limit for its acquisition. State what you intend to give in return for the money, and describe clearly the plan through which you intend to accumulate it. The sixth step is read your written statement aloud twice daily, once before retiring at night and once after arising in the morning. As you read, see and feel and believe yourself already in possession of the money. Now I know, a lot of y'all are like, this is mad corny. I already know what I want. Why should I write it down? Why should I have to think about it in the morning? Just do it. 21 days, it changed my life, y'all. Like, if you're reading this book with the intentions to make money, you will be fooled, because before you know it, you'll realize that money is only a result of mental wealth. When I did this for 21 days, just so that I had nothing else to distract me from anything, I didn't listen to music at all. I didn't watch TV, which I don't even watch TV. I have an apartment. I don't even have cable. I deleted my social media for 21 days, and I used to have like my best friend post for me. I listened to only the interviews that were beneficial to me from people who had what I desired, who came from the bottom or came from similar circumstances as myself and have reached some type of financial, mental success that I respected. And every single morning I read this. When I'm telling you, just that simple step of just me reading my goals every single morning, it makes you jump out of bed with a certain type of like attention to get a task done. So I read my book every morning. I read this book every single morning. I went to the gym every single morning. I wrote in my gratitude journal. I stayed away from social media, from music, and from TV. And the only thing that I consumed were things that I found to be beneficial for me and for my career and for my mental clarity and for my well-being, which was just interviews from people who were successful. So another thing that is super helpful if you guys don't like reading books is using some type of platform like Audible. Audible is good because you can just listen to the book. So sometimes at the gym, I would actually be on the Stairmaster and I would just listen to my book, the Audible book. And when I'm telling y'all, I have the craziest, best ideas on the Stairmaster. I don't know what it is, but like when I'm on the Stairmaster and I'm listening to this and I'm sweating and I'm like, ooh, my body's about to be bomb, I just have the best ideas. It's crazy how fast the universe, God, whatever you believe in works when you make a definite goal to just follow through. Because I feel like so many people, even for me, my first video, and I'll put up some clips, these videos, y'all, I was overdrafting in my account. I had no money. I was making videos at my mom's house and I was still living in LA. I looked good on social media, I'm sure, as from like a money standpoint. It probably looked like I was doing great, but I wasn't. The only thing that I knew is if I worked hard and if I just followed through with one thing, that there's no way that success can't come from that. And I feel like in this generation, because we have social media, which in my personal opinion, I think is great, I feel like the perception messes people up so much because they think that this person has already had it like that, and it's not true. So my challenge for you is to complete my challenge that I did. Simply 21 days. That's all it is. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You can really, or there's nothing that I could really lose because I was in a situation and a circumstance where I was literally not moving anywhere. Just challenge yourself, because I mean, I always considered myself to be a very positive person, but after I started reading these books and taking in the knowledge of like the actual subconscious mind and your actual mindset versus what you say, it was so off. I was definitely a positive speaker, but I wasn't a positive believer. I had a lot of self-doubt. I consumed a lot of negative information from people, and not necessarily people that were in my life, but just like TV, music, all of that. And just reading this book just put me into a whole different realm of knowledge and habits that changed my life. I know some of y'all want more of a clear cut, what did you do? But this video is not necessarily about exactly what I did as far as how I made the money, because not everyone is a YouTuber, not everyone utilizes social media, not everyone has a clothing line. So I could give you that information, but I could also give you the tool that's gonna allow you to accumulate that wealth in any type of occupation. This isn't something that has just worked for me. It's worked for hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people. And it will work for you if you allow yourself to change your habits, stay persistent, and stick to a goal. I feel like a lot of people even look at me and they think that I've always had it, when it's crazy because my first video that I ever posted, I was actually overdrafted in my account. Some of the Instagram pictures that you see me living my life and traveling, like I was actually sleeping in hotels with roaches, hoping to shake hands with people. When I went to Essence Fest the first year, I slept in a hotel with roaches, and I only went to network, and I ended up meeting people from Shea Moisture, closer link with people from Dark and Lovely and Carol's Daughter. I met people from Essence, and when I got home, I made $2,000 based off of the relationships that I made at Essence Fest. When I was sleeping with roaches, y'all. Some of these pictures that I'm putting right here, I had no money. Like, I had no money. I was in debt. Like, just get back in. That's a whole nother story. Just to get back on track. Some of you guys are fooled by the perception of other people. And I'm not saying that it's anybody's responsibility to show you when they struggle, but a lot of you guys are scared to start because you think that me or other creators have always had it easy, and it's not necessarily true. The only difference between me and you is I started with fear, but with a driven like mentality, and you guys can do the same thing. And for me, what really kept me on that goal were these books. So just challenge yourself for 21 days to do something that you've never done, or do something that you've never completed. If it's not a success story of somebody who started from ground zero and built their way up, if it's not that type of content, don't listen to it. Only listen to things and stories of people who have the things that you desire, or have financial success that you desire, or whatever. 21 days. At the end of 21 days, if you don't have a dollar but you have a different mentality, you've gained something. And if you stick to it, I'm sure that you will have money, abundance, mental clarity, and you guys can do it too. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. I hope it was helpful. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much, and I will see you on my next upload. Bisous!